Greetings, fellow Gothamites! Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And man, oh man, we are here to talk about something really cool here, folks. We are here to talk about Gotham High, or more specifically, the audio drama brought to you by Royal Flush Productions, entitled and based off the concept of Gotham High. All right, Dragon, introduce our fine people here.
Yes, so of course, folks, we have.
I hate to interrupt, but I don't think y'all started the stream.
No, Nate, it's not. Okay, we'll edit this part out, obviously. Nate, there's no stream via Skype.
Shut up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
I'm new to this.
It's okay. We're all good here.
All right.
Okay.
Take two, and
Yes, joining us from the esteemed group that is Royal Flush Productions, we have, of course, our friend from the JGI Discord, Nate VA, a wonderful purveyor of art and wonder, a big advocate of the character of the Joker, of course.
Hello.
Man who generously provided us with our image that we've been using for a while now, our banner image.
Hello.
Nate rocks, folks. Shorthand, Nate rocks.
Aw.
Let's go around some of our esteemed crew from Nate. You've actually talked about Royal Flush Productions quite a bit. You've kind of hyped them up, and I believe some of your colleagues. Perhaps you should take the intros here. And why don't you sell some of these fine people that you brought with us? What you brought with you through the door tonight?
Okie dokie. First person on the list is Ben. He's basically our editor, person who keeps everything together and keeps things running. The main guy in charge, essentially.
Script writer as well.
I mean, we all do a little bit of script writing, but...
Yeah.
So how you doing?
Well, and I'm not gonna lie, I've never been interviewed before. This is kind of new to me and Nathan. But if we are on this topic of Raw Flush Productions, it's great to be here. It's great to be here with Jay or Nathan, Selena, or Tobias unknown VA,
Or Toby.
And me, Edward Nigma, or just Ben, if that's easier for you.
And this lovely lady, as you heard earlier, is Tobias. I call her Toby.
Hello. I mean, I'm not very active on the, Royal Flash Productions as of now. I do have
Say that
again. But I am being a little procrastination, about it. Stop. This one's really bugging me about getting my lines in, but yeah, I voiced Selena Kyle, and that's really fun. I'm trying to get myself out there eventually, so I find it's a good way to start,
all right, guys, before we start, I'm going to give you a little antidote, and it is a story that I've actually never told on the podcast here, but I feel like it's worth this because it's based on an actual radio drama that I did back in 6th grade, guys. Back when Tiki was 11 years old, all right? I am almost 30 now, for context.
I apologize for the story in advance, folks. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I'm just going to buckle up and see what happens.
Okay. So I was in a drama class, and we were doing a radio drama for Oliver Twist. And I auditioned for the role of Fagin, the wayward kind of like homeless guy who takes all the orphans in and teaches them how to pickpocket, and he's like kind of the bad influence with a heart of gold, if you will. And so I actually did a really good job with this. I got really into character as him. I kind of had this really old man voice, like, Oliver, you've got to pickpocket Oliver. You know. And I mean that's obviously not a line in the show, but so come the last day of recording, we're all supposed to say who we are and the character we play. And I was so into my character at that point that by the time it got around to me, I was like, "My name is Fagin, and I play Tyler Linder." So yeah, that was my first foray into any recorded anything, and I just completely snubbed it at the end. I was just like, wow, I was so into my character that I was like, I was my character playing myself. I was so embarrassed. And then that ended up on final recording, and it kind of tainted the whole experience, but that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's just a little... That's just a little antidote. Anyways, we are going to dive right into the heart of the show. Tobias will be back with you a little later because you will definitely be wanting to talk about the voice acting side of things with you a little later.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we want to dive into the origins, and I'm going to throw that directly Ben's way. Ben, what can you tell us about how this show got started?
So what are we talking here? Are we talking personal, or are we talking like how it
Like the
developed and
concept?
how the script was done?
I'm talking like how the actual project of Royal Flush Productions doing a radio drama of Gotham High kind of got off the board. Like, what was the genesis of doing that idea?
Well, this is a shout out to one of, not really Nathan's friend anymore, but still one of my very close friends, Sally Monty. She came up with the idea of a role play called Gotham High. Well, not really, called Gotham High. She got it from the TV show that actually never really happened. So we did a role play. We all kind of played as these different characters. I played as Edward. I've been playing as Edward for a long time now. Nathan, he's been kind of jumping between roles. Batman, Jane, and any role you can think of really in Gotham High. And Sully usually would play as Selina. I guess it really sort of formed into this idea of a YouTube series when Nathan attempted to make it into a YouTube series. Of course, I'm not gonna lie, that didn't really go too well.
I got overexcited.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to review every episode, every Donald Duck short in a creepy Donald Duck mask, Nate, so it's all good. We don't make mistakes. I got approximately one episode into that.
I'm still paying off therapy bills, but...
But, yeah, I guess only recently did Gotham High actually become a big thing. We've been doing this for a long time, and I'm not gonna lie, about a year at least, and mostly all that year has been nothing but failure, going downhill until just now, where we found a solid crew. I actually got a lot better at editing and script writing, which helped out a lot as well. And it's actually, to me, looking like a pretty promising series so far. So yeah, that's basically the origins of Gotham High. It started out really, really like, oh god, this isn't going to be anything. This is just going to be an idea. That's all it's ever going to be. I never thought that it would actually be a series. I mean, because like Nathan said, it's been a year in production, and we're still doing it. But yeah, I'm glad to have a solid crew like Nathan. He's a dear friend, probably one of my best friends. If not my best friend of all time. I'm glad to be working with him on this. I'm glad to be working with him and other people on different projects as well, other than Gotham High. For episode 2, I don't want to tease anything too much. It's going to be pretty two-faced, if you know what I mean.
I caught that post-credit tag. Yeah, I figured that much.
All right, awesome, guys. I must say, that's a really cool kind of origin, starting out as a role play and then kind of going from there. I can really relate to that. You know, kind of an idea just blossoming and getting bigger and bigger in your mind. And it's really cool to see the fruits of your labor pay off with episode one. And I really hope that, you know, doing this interview and you guys getting it out there, I really want this. This series definitely has a lot of high quality components to it, and one of the big ones is the editing. Actually, so do you guys want to talk about that? Just how you guys kind of like, because I really like all the transitions and the background noises, and I got to tell you guys, I just recently started getting into actually editing these podcasts. And you know, inserting audio is just it's still my Achilles heel. So you guys are doing stuff that I can't do, and I'm a veteran at this stuff.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
think
don't
I should
have
probably
direct.
I should yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, if you interrupt me again, I will slap your ass. Right. Anyway, I was gonna say I think I should take the hat to this again because I like Nathan said, I do the editing. I will actually give Nathan credit. Nathan actually did find a lot of artists for Gotham High in the past, so I think I should let Nathan explain that as well. You know, well, you know, artists.
Yeah. I mean, with the
You
art in Gotham High, it's been very, like, it was like Gotham High in general was like very, it was a lot of failures. I mean, I dropped off the project when we found a really good artist, and it was kind of my fault that we lost them. But now that we jumped to like editing, like already existing photos and all that, like, I mean, I think it's better than getting an actual artist because you don't have to worry about paying people and hoping that we can make a profit off this to pay those people, you know?
But yeah, with the editing, it's I'm not sure if people would believe this, but most of the time I edit a whole episode of Gotham High with just my phone, and most of the time I use my PC sometimes to edit. That's only when I need to like really edit and get some stuff in there that I can't get in there with my phone. But yeah, it's pretty fun because it's like when you edit, you kind of if you know Batman like I do, you kind of like feel like certain things would go well with other things, and other people probably won't think, you know, oh that doesn't go there, that doesn't go there. And yeah, some of the times it doesn't really fit, but it's kind of interesting because like when you edit, it's kind of like your own ideal universe, and you get to do what you want with it. It's kind of fun. You get to. I know I keep changing the subject, but it's like, to me, when someone else edits something I want done, I kind of get a bit nervous because I feel like they're not gonna get it the way I want it. So I feel like editing. It's just you know where everything goes because it's your product and you know where everything goes and it's easy to do that sort of stuff. And yeah, in for Gotham High, more mostly I just go on Google or YouTube and try to find some random noises and I just put that together in one episode. Like it's not hard really. It's actually very simple if you have the right resources to do that sort of stuff.
All right, Dragon, do you have any input on this? Any questions you want to ask?
Well, something I think we should discuss a little bit here is, again, for anyone who's just kind of coming in, kind of a little foreign to the concept of Gotham High. Of course, something that's kind of becoming even more in vogue now because it's so fascinating that Gotham High, you know, this was as we kind of touched on a little bit. I believe an artist by the name of Jeffrey Thomas, a guy, he basically pitched an animated show that was basically, you know, kind of Batman in high school, which you gotta remember, folks, like Batman Beyond was basically, I want Batman, you know, basically I want high school Batman, I want teenage Batman, which again could have gone a myriad of ways, and we're so lucky it turned out as well as it did. And basically Gotham High is not so much a prequel, but kind of setting, you know, kind of setting kind of Bruce Wayne with kind of the new status quo that is kind of Gotham High filled with the rogues, as it is. And it's basically just a bunch of concept art that people have kind of been inspired by, and kind of like we have this kind of like a vague template of like, okay, here's what the show might look like, and people have kind of over the years have kind of had various kind of takes on this, where you have like, I'm sure there's fan art. There's as we have experienced here. There's there's audio dramas, very excellent audio dramas.
Thank you.
And of course there is actually the most recent thing. There's going to be a series of DC's been doing a series of kind of young adult graphic novels, and one of which, of course, is Gotham High. So Gotham High is very much in vogue. Whether it's going to be as good as this, I can't tell you. We'll have to read and find out. But again, there's been very much like kind of placing our heroes in this kind of this younger, usually high school to middle school setting a lot of the time. So it's definitely in vogue.
Dragon, if I may add something about the whole Gotham High coming into the more popular view, I've seen the art for for the graphic novel series that they're doing. I don't like it.
Well, based on cover alone, I'm not crazy about it either. But I think I want to see what the contents look like before I pass.
I'll give it a chance. But there's no way their Joker's going to beat mine.
in this context, especially since it's a graphic novel, you can't judge a book by its cover, which you are kind of doing right now.
I'm judging the art.
Yeah.
And
literally, in the most literal sense of the word.
And where is the art?
You can Google it. You can just Google it, dude.
On the cover. So you're judging a book by its cover.
Right.
I guess the biggest question I have for you guys, the biggest one thing I gotta know, and I know you might want to keep this a little close to the vest, so feel free to be dodgy as you'd like on this by all means. But the biggest question I have, because again, Gotham High, what I'm getting at with all this is many a time Gotham High based on it's like, okay, so we have this, the seed of the idea is planted, and people have run with it in all sorts of different ways, shapes, and forms as the Royal Flush production crew has. And the question I always have at Gotham High, and even after episode 1 of this series, is like, so is this a show where like Bruce Wayne will eventually become Batman, or is this a show where okay, so we're just kind of in this, or is this a show where basically Bruce Wayne is who he is, and it's just kind of like it's kind of a takeoff of basically there's no end point. Like in a show like Gotham, there's an end point. Where okay, Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. He's like, oh boy, he's getting closer and closer. Where with this, it's like okay, so it's Bruce Wayne in this established world. There's no promise of Batman. We're focusing on Bruce as a character, which again, some of these like young adult novels have been about. Where again, he's young, so he's not going to be Batman anytime soon. But he's still an interesting character. So I guess that's what I'm asking. Is it just Bruce Wayne, or is there Bruce Wayne who will become Batman, or can you say?
I think it's safe to say like our plans for Bruce, like not like spoiler plans, but plans for a character. Don't you think, Eddie?
Well, the way I see it is that as the series progresses, all the characters will show traits of who they are destined to become. Some characters may even become those characters. But Batman, Bruce Wayne, I would say he does become Batman. This is a universe where he still does become Batman. But when people think of Gotham High, they usually think of a goofy, cartoon series. I wanted this to be very uplifting, but also very dark as well. So it can go from happy to sad at any moment. It can be emotional. This is a story about Bruce's journey, Bruce's rehabilitation after the loss of his parents. He's still learning how to cope with, meeting new people, and the people he meets along the way. Some are weird, some are crazy, some are bullies, some are outright bullies. Some are very nice. Some treats him, welcomes him with open arms, and others are just left aside. Others are kind of in the middle. So this isn't really more of Bruce's journey to Batman. It's more of Bruce's sort of way of coping again. Because as this isn't really a spoiler, because any real Batman fan would know, Bruce Wayne's parents parents die. They get shot by Joe Chill. Or well,
Get
depending on what
out.
people. Yeah. And depending
Even the
on
most
what
basic
people,
Batman fans know that his parents got shot.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert! You're not gonna-
and even like, or even if you just watch the Batman movie, Jack Napier kills the Waynes, or the Dark Knight trilogy. I think it's still Joe Chill.
Yeah, it's Joe Chill.
Or if you watch Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Don't even
Oh.
start with that. Get that out of my lawn.
Don't
I'm
Get
not
off-
gonna
bring that
finish
up in
that
my
sentence.
presence.
I'm not going to finish that sentence, but
Eddie
This is
can,
a Gotham High.
Eddie can
This is
back me up on this. I will
this is
get
a
mad
Gotham
at God.
High.
Sorry.
This is a Gotham High video. Don't you dare bring Teen Titans Go into this.
I will start raging.
all right, fair enough. I'm just saying, like, both, like different variations of Bruce Wayne's parents. But anyway,
In this series, the Wayne's death will be established. Episode 2. And since it's quite, it's like everyone knows, this is a pretty new series, so we still have a lot of ground to cover. But back to your original question, is this about Bruce becoming Batman? I suppose you could say it is, but it's more about Bruce becoming more of himself again, more of the happy child he used to be, and more just a better person in general, knowing that he can help people other than himself, knowing that he can try to help even the most like unredeemable people. I'm not even sure that's a word. Yeah, that's basically the gist of Gotham High.
cool. All right, Dragon, should we get into the voice acting side of things now?
Yeah,
Please.
sure.
I love the voice acting side.
Just to cue it up a little here. I mean, what we got to talk about here, guys, is that there's such a great sense of authenticity as well as kind of walking some new ground here. We're kind of blazing some trail here. We're doing things differently with some of the performances and just some of the story content. I think is really interesting, and of course, some stuff just feels so on the money. Like for example, Alfred, your voice actor on Alfred, who was it was Craig Richardson. Am I right?
Yeah,
Craig is like the
Richardson.
best Alfred I've ever heard.
Yes, of course. It's just I don't know if you guys have noticed. There's just a string of you can never miss with Alfred. I
Yeah,
posit
this is a running gag that Dragon and I have. I honestly don't think there's ever been a bad Alfred in anything.
I agree.
It's
it
just
might
one of
go
those
this-
like sacred characters.
That's the thing. It might just entirely be the character is just so beloved and just there's something so ironclad about that character. There's something. I mean, it's either that or tremendous luck. I don't know. It's either that or tremendous luck. But yeah, let's go through our voice cast here. Yeah.
Can I just add something real quick?
Yeah, sure.
The voice actor for Alfred. Has anyone ever seen the TV show or the movie or read the book, The Series of Unfortunate Events?
Yes.
Oh,
Basically, I was going to do originally before Gotham High, I was going to do a series on the Series of Unfortunate Events. That's actually how I met the voice actor for Alfred.
Nice.
Alfred was originally playing as Mr. Poe, a very competent lawyer at Monterey Money Management. I think that's
Competent.
how he's.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, well competent. Yeah, I just thought I should throw that out there because he actually wasn't originally Alfred. I originally cast him as Mr. Poe in that role. But I went to him because I enjoyed his Mr. Poe so much. I thought it was so authentic to what I wanted Alfred to be. I was like, "Yo, Craig, I gotta get you down for this Alfred role. I gotta get you as Alfred." And he just swooped that role right out of my hand. It's like just swooped it out. Like I thought he stole it from me, to be honest. He just snatched it out of my hand, and that's how
Mine.
that's how we got Alfred, basically.
Nice. Honestly, a series of unfortunate events. I've never seen that done as a radio or as an audio drama, so that would be a really interesting thing to tackle in the future.
Yeah. The reason we didn't really do it, Nathan, who voices Jay, just thought I should point that out there again. He originally played as Count Olaf.
Well, that figures.
I mean, I can't sing worth crap, but I played him.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe when Gotham High is a bit more developed, and maybe when I feel more confident that I can do more series outside of Gotham High, I may revamp that. I may revamp the series of unfortunate events into an audio.
I just think that series works. I feel like it fundamentally kind of just it would work as a radio drama. I'm not pushing do it right now, but yeah, in the future, I think it would be a cool concept.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Do your Count Olaf.
Which one?
The one that you would have used for said series of unfortunate events radio drama.
I think it means which person. Olaf does many characters too.
Oh, yeah, which persona?
Just base level bad beginnings Olaf.
Yeah.
Stefano.
All right.
Hello. No, too evil. Hello. No. Hello, children. I am your beloved Count Olaf. You're
nice. Not bad.
I actually originally wanted to play as Count Olaf, but I thought Nathan would fit the role better.
I mean, I traded up Count Olaf for Jay, so.
Yeah.
It all worked out again.
So let's get into Gotham High. Let's see. Do we want to go into Tobias? Because she's been kind of waiting in the sidelines very patiently.
Yeah.
What about Liam?
Tobias, listen. So your take on Selena Kyle was so good in this episode. It really was. Episode 1 again, I can't help but stress authenticity. I guess I'm kind of short for words tonight, but again, it's just so, it kind of summarizes it, because again, that is Selena Kyle. It's just in so many ways. That's Selena Kyle. My favorite thing with Selena Kyle in one of my favorite things in the whole series so far, bear in mind the whole series so far is one episode, but we're getting there, is in that opening conversation with Bruce and Alfred, we talk about Leslie Tompkins having taken in Selena Kyle. The only other time I've ever seen that was it kind of alluded to in Gotham by Gaslight, and I love that idea, and I love how we kind of added it there, and we have some parallels between Alfred and Leslie and all that stuff, but again, Selena with her interactions with Bruce later, and all of that kind of adds some great kind of gravitas and just kind of some great connection built into them. So how do you... What was your reaction when you got the role of Selena? Tell us how you got the role and everything.
Oh, wow.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, this is a while. Okay.
Oh, God. This is back... Oh.
She's been cast as Selena longer than Sally, to be honest.
I won't say that.
When I was casted, said Sally was the previous Selena Kyle, and she stepped back from her role to focus more on the script. So the position was open, and I took it. At this point, I wasn't sure exactly how to dive into this. I did do my research on this, different voices from different, past Catwomans, and kind of pieced it together to make my own. My take is a little bit more mature.
There's a real sultry quality to the way that you did that character, yeah.
Thank you. It's a little mature than I think Eddie or Nate would like.
I love it. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's awesome, man.
Thank you.
I like how it's mature, but at the same time, it's very reserved. You can tell that there's definitely a hinge of distance that she's keeping between herself and all the other characters.
I like that it's not, she doesn't have a gimmick yet, and that kind of reads in the performance where she's not we're not going full Newmar, as it were,
Yeah, I think she's very neat. I think, her personality in Gotham High is something that would match my own. She's kind of not exactly a mama bear, but very protective over people who can't help themselves, and I really enjoy that she's kind of like that little hero type, I guess. So
when I first heard Toby's Selena, I'm not gonna lie, I got huge vibes from the Tim Burton, the Tim Burton Batman with Selena Kyle.
Oh yeah.
But there was a big chunk of the little origin of her thing that I just wanted to add. We were talking about Sally, right? I think we forgot to say that Sally was amazingly angry about not being Selena.
Oh,
which I
she
thought-
was. She was like, "Can I?" Like when I offered her poison ivy, she was like, "Still want Selena."
I mean,
I definitely had to prove myself to the role. Definitely. I mean,
yeah, but oh, you did. I was like, no, she's Selena Kyle. It's not changing. So, yo, back up. Like,
uh,
mm,
All right, very cool.
thank you.
Let's see. So, Nate, why don't you just go ahead and run down everyone that you play in this?
okay, so I don't play multiple characters. Like as the development went on, I switched roles. Originally, I was Bane and Croc, and Bane was like it was an easy voice, very windless, very exotic. Croc was coming naturally to me because it's my natural accent.
Chris does a better job.
I know. Don't remind me. And then I played Bruce for a little bit. This is when I dropped off the series because I lost passion for it. But but I played Bruce for a good chunk of ever since I played Bruce since
I
it was a role play. Yeah, since it was a role play. Then the last role and the role I'm currently playing, Jay. Oh, Jay is like my baby boy. I love him.
Didn't you play as Roz for a while?
I think I was the Ross villain. But
You
if
played
I
as a
like,
lot of characters.
I know. I'm kind of like the go-to guy for the villains.
No, you don't. No. You just always choose the villains. It's like,
What? No.
Get out.
Yeah.
Villains are so much fun to play. Do you blame
Nate
me?
and Batman villains? That's like me and like Tiki Room culture. You guys don't get that because you don't know me, but trust me.
Can I go on a little spiel about Jay?
Yeah, well, yeah, keep
Means-
it relevant, man. Go on.
Okay, I gotta tell you, Jay's voice was a little bit. It wasn't a little bit of a journey. It was a journey, but it wasn't small nor was it large. Because this was my original Jay voice. It was very croaky, very. I don't want to be here. Please don't hurt me. Like, I was hoping to transform into something like this, something more Joker-like. But in this current iteration, I'm using my normal voice. If you can't tell, but I perform very introvertedly, even though I thought I played it too sinister.
Is there
Yeah,
a telltale John Doe influence on your take on the Joker
Yes.
here, or your take on Jay?
There's a lot of John Doe in there, especially the music. Eddie.
Yeah, just a bridge off of that. Nate, I'll toss it right back to you here, but I just gotta just a bridge off of what you threw out there. Is we use the Telltale theme, we use we use the Penguins theme from Gotham. So pretty safe to assume we're definitely inferring we're bringing a little bit of that into the show, at least in kind of like tonally, right?
Yeah. I like to describe Gotham High as Gotham, but without limitations.
It's a good comparison.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
I like to describe
I'll
Gotham
allow
High as describe Gotham High as a little bit of a mix of everything that we've seen in the Batman universe.
But
Cool.
Jay, I look forward to Jay, growing into his more crazy self. I mean, that's not the voice I'm using, but you know what I mean.
But I do really like how your Jay is definitely introverted, but at the same time, you've got those, those ticks of oh, there's definitely something not quite right underneath the surface there.
Yeah, with Jay, I want him, I'm my goal. I'm not sure if me and Eddie share this, but I want people to think I don't want him to be the Joker. He's too please don't do this to him. Like, that's my goal.
Almost kind of like how in Better Call Saul, you don't want Jimmy McGill to become Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
If you guys watch that show, Dragon and I kind of religiously watch that
Yes,
show.
we are very huge.
I've watched Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, all that.
Fair enough.
Good on you, man.
So yeah, it's like, with Better Call Saul, you're just like, no, Jimmy, don't. We know you're gonna become Saul Goodman, but we like Jimmy. Or in the words of Mama McGill, Jimmy.
Before I toss the baton to Eddie, there's one thing I am truly scared about doing for the J character.
Okay.
It's the laugh.
Oh.
Oh, it's going to be a big moment for you, too. Yeah.
I'm definitely afraid of it because I'm not good at the laugh.
So alright, we'll get someone else for you.
It's like we
Cattle
like,
brought him a few times.
keep
Leave
looking
the laugh.
for laugh.
I think.
better.
Oh, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, cattle brought him a few times. Like, do it better. Get the laugh. Do it, Nate.
I mean, I've been practicing.
Just do it like David Fincher style, like 100 takes. Do it.
But I think you should toss the baton to Eddie and talk about the character he is named after.
By all means. By all means.
All
right.
Well, very much like Nathan and Toby, and mostly well, not really mostly, not a lot. Like I said, a lot of people are new to Gotham High, a lot of cast members, but I've been playing as Edward since the roleplay phase. We had it as a roleplay. Edward as a character, I'm kind of aiming smart ass, basically. But he's sweet. I want him to be an innocent child. Eventually, mistakes will be made. People will be pushed out of windows. Crocodiles will be killed, and a lot of other things will happen.
Okay, wait, I'm sure.
Oh wait, you didn't know about that, Toby?
Tells me anything. Oh my goodness. You're
no.
Oh no. Oh no.
No offense. But I mean, hey. Just saying, maybe if it was a bit more
Stop.
COMMUNIC. I'm not even gonna spell it
I
because I know I'm
lost
gonna.
you, but stop.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant by it's kind of a mix of all the universes because a lot of references to the movies and the animated series and the shows that has been made will be happening. But yeah, Edward, I want his sort of base canvas, his sort of the innocent child. He in a way, I kind of see Jay and Edward kind of like twins in a way, starting out. Except for Jay doesn't have glasses, even though Nate.
I petitioned for him to get glasses.
I didn't want Jay to have glasses because then Jay would just be Edward's twin. That as simple as, because the voice I use for Jay, not Jay. What am I talking about? The voice I use for Edward. It's kind of like it's very nerdy, and very I kind of took inspiration from Heath Ledger's Joker a little bit, but a bit more light, a bit more nerdier. He's very he has a lot of problems. I think Edward is the only person in the show that's not going to have a real origin, and I'm like, yo, isn't that Joker's thing? Isn't Joker not meant to have an origin? But no, the only person that no one's going to know, like, yo, what's he doing in a school for the mentally challenged children? What's he doing in the school? No one's going to know because it's not that I haven't had ideas for what I want Edward to be. It's just I find it more interesting having the sort of roles reversed between the Joker and the Riddler. But Edward, he's gonna make a lot of mistakes. He's gonna be one of those people that will accidentally do something bad, and that will eventually mold him into the Riddler until eventually he starts doing things not so accidental. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I really like the takes here. I think what you're doing, I think one of the things I really like about what you're doing, and again, this kind of spells into Nate too. I think you guys are doing a really great job of mirroring the Joker and the Riddler, because of course these two people are going to be arguably two of the biggest kind of you know forces within the world of Batman, because of course you got the Joker, that speaks for itself. But then Riddler is kind of like an unsung, like Riddler very much has a personal dynamic with Batman through the riddles and, trying to figure out the identity and everything like that. So, and of course, Ben, you do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to the voice acting and this side of things. I think you, correct me if I'm wrong, you might have more lines than anyone in the cast in this first episode. So I really do think that, establishing that kind of like, it really does fascinate me how we're going to go down this road of kind of like diverging with the Joker and the Riddler, and it kind of leaves me with a lot of questions. It's like, are the Joker and the Riddler going to kind of, form like this bond with Bruce Wayne? Are they going to be kind of like this losers club? Or are the two going to kind of be vying for Bruce Wayne's friendship? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
Yeah, you. Oh, sorry, Nathan. You can continue after it. But the reason I have the most lines is not because I'm a scriptwriter. Why not? Why not just sneak me in the main part real quick? It's because originally, yeah, back to the original point of the roleplay. Edward was the first character we actually sort of developed. So I kind of wanted that little relationship between Bruce and Edward to sort of blossom in episode 1, because that was kind of like the first idea we had, was that Bruce and Edward were going to be very close friends throughout the series. But don't worry, Edward is only like in one scene next episode, so you don't have to worry about Edward overpowering everyone else. Bane is in it a lot more. Jay, I think he's kind of in the same amount.
With Jay, sorry.
Now you carry on. It's all right.
With like the scripts you've shown me for episode 2 and the plans further on, I see Jay's like that little glimpse of hi, and like people are like, come on, like.
Yeah, he develops into a bigger character than he is right now. I wanted Jay to sort of be one of those on the low characters. He is very like Nathan said. He's very introverted. He spends his time away from people. As season 3 goes on, he sort of ties his way into Gotham High a bit more, because he becomes more comfortable around Bruce. And like Edward, he's going to be around Bruce a lot more. One thing I'm very excited for, I don't mean this may be a spoiler, but it's not really, because she's a big character. One part I'm very excited for is Harley Quinn. I'm very excited to introduce Harley.
About Harley.
Or Harley Quinzel in Gotham High. I'm not going to spoil too much, but typical Joker Harley stuff. Joker
I don't want to abuse the poor girl.
Yikes.
Well, more Telltale. That's probably a better way to
okay.
I don't know, ship it.
I had to say that. I'm sorry.
Harley the shot caller.
It will be interesting to see that dynamic translated into a high school setting, though, and I do trust you guys to adapt that in a really kind of like realistic and grounded way, like you've done the rest of the show so far, so I'm looking forward to that.
What I'm really looking forward in general with Gotham High is the romance. Like, that was my favorite part of the development. It's like, who's going to date who's going to end up with who. Like, that was my favorite part of everything.
Yeah, it's funny you bring
I remember Edward.
Oh, I'm sorry, please go on.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Oh no, I just said, do you remember Edward X Ivy?
Oh, I remember. Oh, I loved what we did with Ivy I love that version of Ivy. We should really use that again.
Hashtag Celedward.
Oh God. Oh, I remember when that was a possibility. Do you remember that, Eddie?
And just Bruce came in like the biggest cop block in the world, and I was like,
Okay. A little anecdote about the original RP. So this was when I first started being Bruce, and like the Selena and Bruce thing, like was very like it was already at the iconic thing. We rushed that, and like it was getting all flirty and all that, and everyone's like, "Hi." Ruins everything.
So that was kind of like the genesis of where you guys set them in the first episode.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
I
do you
noticed
want
that.
to speak to some of the cast that isn't here tonight?
Unfortunately, I would love to hear their opinions.
Dragon, I'm sorry, you were about to say something.
Yes, well, one, I notice, Barbara Gordon is not in this, and I'm kind of on pins and needles wondering, is she not going to show up, or is she?
I don't want her to be in this. Like, no offense to the
Nor
character.
do I personally. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't like. I think it'd be way too soon, even for Gotham High standards.
Yeah, it always bugged me about that concept because I always did like that premise. But like, why is Barbara? We're only putting her there for the romantic tension, which is always weird when you work in Barbara Gordon to the Bruce Wayne of it all.
Yeah.
No, she will not be in Gotham High.
Awesome, good to hear. Okay.
Talia.
Oh yes, oh my God, yes, Talia. If she, I'm gonna love it if she pops up. Love me some Talia Bruce action. I love it.
Oh, I hate Talia. I hate Talia.
I enjoy her thoroughly, personally. That's just me. Anyway,
I hate Talia in The Dark Knight Rises. If that means anything to you, Nate.
I hate Talia in general.
The only reason I hate Talia is because she put Damien.
Damien.
To be fair, they did fix the kid in the later years. Again, it's not. I'm not very crazy that it exists, but I mean, they made the best out of a bad situation. Anyway. So on the Riddler, though, before we address the other cast, I do want to say I do love the. My read on it after episode 1 is that, I guess thinking about it, is that Bruce and Edward's relationship, or at least I guess what their dynamic might be, is that it's kind of like if Bruce is discovering himself again, he's kind of piecing together the mystery of himself, and again that's basically kind of his link to Enigma. Again, it's kind of like discovering yourself and just kind of solving the riddle of your issues, perhaps. Yeah. On the flip side, you have like with the Joker, I guess you could see it as that's kind of transformation. That's evolution, transformation of a relationship, right?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with Jay and Bruce. That's Eddie's decision, but I'm hoping for like a big argument that ruins everything.
Oh, yeah, with Jay, you kind of have to be careful because, in a way, I kind of don't want to take the same route as already seen before by standards. Because there's been the chemical bath, there's been scars. Although Jay already does have the sort of John Doe-esque disease, he has a disease that causes his skin to be pale white and his hair to be green. I'm not really sure if that's because of his hair, that causes his hair to be green, but I know he has a disease that does cause his skin to go really pale. But with Jay, it's kind of like, you have to be really careful with a character of such a big impact on the Batman universe.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry.
Carry on. I didn't have much to say anyway.
I agree because, like, I'm with you, Eddie, and like trying to do something different with Jay because, like, you've seen Mark Hamill, you've seen Heath Ledger, like, you've seen all these.
You've seen Jared Leto. I'm an idea.
And you've seen like I'm more than a man in Jerome.
Oh God.
Idea.
All right.
I want if I was to say any Joker, inspired Jay, it would be Jeremiah.
Oh, Jesus.
Sure.
He's the best one out of the two. Stop it, Eddie.
It's like every time
Eddie-
you compare any of your Jokers, it's always Jeremiah.
Because he's awesome.
He's awful. If that's what you meant to say.
Oh my god, it's a war of the Valescas. Oh my god.
I mean, I do prefer Jerome over Jeremiah. We'll say
This
that.
guy knows what he's talking about.
Well, at least Jeremiah didn't have to rely on a Heath Ledger impression, but
Wow.
Instead he had
Anyhow.
to rely on a Hannibal
Jeremiah.
Ooh.
As I was saying,
Jeremiah got a
like,
little wacky towards the end there.
Well, I can imagine why.
He looks like Gollum from Gollum.
I remember you screaming when you saw the first leaked image.
I thought it was Caucasian Freddy Krueger or something. I was like,
God. All right.
Anyhow, as I was saying, a good chunk of it is Jeremiah, but a lot of it, 98% of it, is my own take because he's introverted. He's not used to socializing. He's very I don't know.
You're stripping away the showman quality of the
Exactly.
Joker.
It's you can't believe this character becomes the Joker.
or you can.
I mean, you can, but if you don't know anything about if you only know the base characters, and you're okay, Jay, Joker, and you're wait, this kid's the Joker. Where's the hello Batman part of it? You know?
If I could just take over the interviewing little part for a second, would you say Jay represents you and your real life persona in a way?
I guess kinda. I mean, here you see me here I'm very jumpy. I mean, I'm energetic. In the Meet the Cast video that I have no idea when's coming out, I'm very energetic. But in actuality, I'm But yeah, Jay is me. A good chunk of Jay is me.
Right.
I think that was oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think that was the condition. I think that was the condition that we agreed upon when you asked me to come back on this show. I was okay, but I want control over Jay. I want to control his character and all that. I think that was the condition.
Yeah, I had to say something for you to get back in the show, didn't I?
All right, so we should quickly kind of highlight some of the other voice actors who aren't here tonight, but they definitely stood out. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm missing anyone here, but I think there's probably others, but I think the two main ones that we should probably highlight are Bane and Penguin.
Aphris and Batman do voices.
Yeah. And then is there anyone else that I'm missing here that I'm forgetting about?
Well, we didn't talk about Bruce Wayne himself, so there's that.
I think both did a good job. I think he did a standout performance.
I have a whole list of every cast member. So I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
Nah, I was just probably going to say the same thing you were going to say, maybe.
Well, I also have a list, but I wasn't going to just cut you off with that. What I was going to say is that Thomas Elliott, he was a standout for me. Kyle Rain, he was awesome. I loved what you guys do with Elliott.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Especially now, without giving away any spoilers, let's just say again we kind of are in short supply of a really interesting Thomas Elliott.
We're keeping everything very hush hush about Thomas.
Right.
Everyone gets by puns.
Hush's backstory in Gotham High is going to be very dark. Very dark.
Sure.
Probably the darkest in any concepts we've had for Gotham High.
When Eddie told one of our friends the idea, he was like, nope.
Yeah, because that's because he's a comic nerd. If one thing's out of place from the comics, it's not Batman at all. It's just
like making Poison Ivy a dude, which I have done.
All right, Dragon, take the reins on this, man. There's quite a few things to go over here, and we're kind of running high on time here. So let's wrap this up as quick as we
I think
can.
you mean low on time, not high.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
All right, look, I guess
we're running low on time, hence I'm kind of scrambled right now.
Yes,
so
yes.
yeah.
Okay, well, I guess all right. I mean, of course, Penguin portrayed by voices on Batman, very much kind of a Nolan, very Nolan North-esque Penguin, very Arkham game-esque Penguin, with of course maybe little shades of Robin Lord Taylor worked in there as well. Am I anywhere close on that?
Music-wise, yes.
Yeah, I love the. I love this. We're kind of looking at the family angle of the Penguins. Of course, some interpretations of the Penguins, like the Cobblepot family, is kind of a lineage in Gotham, and therefore we kind of have like Bane. Basically, what Teague was speaking to earlier about the class thing.
I really love how intimidated Bane is by the Penguin. That was one of my favorite moments in episode 1.
And if I'm a betting man, I would say that he might see Bruce Wayne as a way of getting out from under the Penguin's thumb, as it were. That's my 2 cents on the episode.
Eddie, can I share that little idea I had about Penguin and getting his name? I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. Would it be a spoiler?
I mean, who really cares? I mean, like, if you want,
Okay, so I'm not.
Try to be very bleak about it as possible.
Okay, I'm just gonna say this: the Penguin title in the Cobblepot family is inherited. I'm just saying that.
Okay, interesting.
All right.
Nice tease. All right.
Oh, really? That's it? Oh, I don't mind saying that. The Penguin name is from his father.
All right. Let's see. So Bruce Wayne. Vocal Vortex portrays Bruce Wayne, and it's very at least my read on it is kind of a nonchalant Bruce. It's very much like a Clay from 13 Reasons Why approach to a Bruce Wayne character, where it's an example of you have kind of a straight arrow character, kind of internalizing things a lot. It's just very much. I'm not gonna like blasé is the wrong term to use, but it's just very much kind of like Bruce. He's just there. We haven't quite gotten into him yet, but I feel I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of taking things as they come. Again, there's episode 1 as a whole. If I were to bridge into it, there are a lot of things that really blow my mind in episode 1 here. With like the Leslie Tompkins like taking Selena Kyle, the authenticity within their performances, like our Alfreds or Selena's. Or the kind of points of intrigue like Thomas Elliot, and again like okay, we're doing the fact that we end things on the beginning. Of course, one could read the beginning as many things. It's kind of the obvious thing of like okay, so we're it's the first episode, therefore it's the beginning. Or we ended when Bruce met Jay, and of course that to me seems like that's the real beginning of everything. That's why we ended there.
Okay, Eddie I got so much flack from this from Eddie, but in the end, I forgot to introduce Jay's name. I forgot to introduce Jay. I got so much flack for that.
It was in capital script as well. I don't know how you can miss that.
I'm sorry.
I will say this, guys, just to give you. I'm sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, luckily you rectified that mistake in episode 2.
Thank God. I'd probably never hear the end of it from anybody if I didn't.
But is it completely coincidence that his last name's White, or you give him the pale complexion of it all, or what?
I think like
I
the
think
name
you
was decided before the appearance.
I think you might have just unintentionally guessed one of the biggest gag parts in episode 2, actually, because Jay actually gets mad. Jay actually gets mad at Bruce because Bruce laughed at him because of his last name, and his skin color is very white.
I was showing like Joker's like anger, like the first hints of it in there. I think I did a good job personally, but. Yeah.
Well, we'll be the judge of that. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure it's great. But that's the thing, guys. I gotta tell you. So, episode 1 feels like many great series. You have a bit of pilot-itis in there, And I feel like these are elements that, again, like I'm hooked on all the great stuff of the show here, but I think there's room for, basically I need to see where it's going. You know what I mean? I want to see where it's going, either that or maybe some slight room for improvement. Now, like for example, like your take on Riddler is radically different. Now, this take on the Riddler is, again, it's interesting, and I love what we're doing with this, this kind of these befriending Bruce Wayne. That's a great idea. It's just, I mean, I want to see where it's going. Like I'm presuming, and then basically you guys kind of giving me the kind of the sigh of relief here. I think the Riddler is going to become more interesting as it goes along, and then it kind of goes without saying, but he's like he's going to become smarter as he goes along the way, right?
Yeah.
Because for me,
I'll say so.
like for me, when I was watching the episode, when I was listening to the episode, hence the audio drama. The like the thing for me is like during that tour, I think it's really well edited, really well put together. But we just keep going to like showing them like here's the bathroom. He's like I don't think they need to explain what a bathroom is, or like what do you do with lockers. It just feels a little like it's. I bet again it's early. He's kind of learning as he goes along, perhaps, or again he's kind of being more confident in himself, maybe.
What was with that bathroom joke, Eddie?
Well, with audio dramas, you kind of have to say, "Oh yeah, this is the bathroom," because then people are gonna be like, "Yo, what's happening? This is just a bunch of swoosh noises," and nothing's happening. I felt like if I didn't say, "So this is the bathroom," people would just be like, "Okay, are we gonna have this tour or what? What's happening?" And it just comes on to the other scene, and people are like, "What was the point of the tour then? What is this? What's this about?" I do get what you mean. It obviously was pretty obvious that it was
And the most unintentional PC thing about it was the whole it's multi-gendered thing.
Yes, very progressive there.
I guess, like, guys, overall, like, that's the one real note I have with episode 1 is that not just the bathroom joke. I'm saying overall, it's like, like into the bathroom.
We're doing a whole month on Nickelodeon movies, guys. Like, we appreciate good bathroom humor.
We do. No, what I'm getting at is that basically you guys, I understand where you guys come from here, where basically you're doing all your drama and there's a lot of exposition that you need, and I just feel episode 1's like, okay, like, for example, we gotta really establish, like, in that car scene that I love so much, Alfred, it's like basically little bits and pieces of dialogue where, as Alfred's laying out, Leslie Tompkins is taking Selena Kyle. That's the information we need, and then we have like she spent, she scurried around all the live long day, and she went to all the places to get all the paperwork. Sounds like, well, okay, I get that she was rather insistent on, I guess.
Yeah.
It feels like we're adding to them. We're just kind of basically we're trying to hit all of our beats and kind of painting a picture for the audience. And again, it's you need that in the show. Obviously, it feels like some of it could have been streamlined, which again, pilot, so you gotta get out of your system, I guess. So by all means, like, again, it's the only minor note I have on the whole thing, I guess.
All right. I think this is a pretty natural place to end things, unless you guys have any other, just last minute things to say about the series.
I would like to maybe shout out the rest of the cast.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Please do, by all means.
So, Vocal Vortex, Bruce Wayne. He plays one amazing Bruce Wayne. To me, he plays a very like Jay. He's not really introverted. He's more kind of in the middle. He doesn't really, know much about school. He kind of just likes to introduce himself. Bane, played by Afris. I also wanted to correct someone. It's not Vocal Vortex Studios, it's Vocal Vortex Productions. That's my fault. I got that wrong.
He made a big deal about that when he saw the description.
Yeah, but yeah, if Vocal does watch this, I want to say I'm sorry for getting your name wrong. It's Vocal Vortex Productions. Just wanted to get that out there, off the chest. But yeah, the guy who plays Bane, Afris, does an amazing job. He does the accent perfectly. It's almost fluent. In the way he does the accent.
He did it better than I did.
Did you guys work in a Carlos Rocky reference in that class scene where Bane's name is Carlos? Is that a reference to the Rocky interpretation?
But actually, Bane's name was Carlos in one of the comics.
Oh.
That's kind of annoying.
My favorite thing about Bane is like, my name is Bane, not Carlos.
Right.
and like Raz is like, not happening. He's just,
So that was Raish. Raish was the teacher. Because I thought the reincarnation thing, because I was thinking that maybe a foreshadow Raish Al Ghul, but that was him. Cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was him.
And that leads me
In the
to my
original
next
Gotham
guy.
High days. Oh, sorry. I kind of went to explanation mode. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, just let me finish. Giving these guys a shout out. That leads to my next guy, King Joker. He plays Raz so amazingly. He actually told me he took a lot of inspiration from Severus Snape from Harry Potter when he played as Raz. I thought, there's because both of them they're very stern in both. They're very strict teachers, but they have a heart. Obviously Toby, she's in the call right now.
Hello, Toby.
Hello.
She's awesome.
She plays one amazing Selena Kyle, and she's a really good voice actress.
Would you say she's the perfect cast?
Okay, time to find a new Jay White. Anyway, Nathan playing as Jay White does an amazing job. I can't wait to continue hearing more stuff from Jay. Me, obviously, the star of the show, Edward Nigma. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, me as Edward. Who else? Craig. How could I forget Craig?
What about Cole? Did you forget about Croc?
Yo. How about you let me get to Cole first, alright? Calm. Anyway.
What is calm?
Craig plays one amazing Alfred, like you guys have said. He plays an amazing Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
Cole, one amazing Killer Croc, is a pretty good, sort of accent, sort of Western Killer Croc that we were going for. What's his face? Sorry, I forget your name. It's Dragon, is it?
Yeah.
As Dragon said, Carl, who plays as one amazing Thomas Elliott. Can't wait to do stuff further with him. Basically, just am I missing anyone, Nathan?
Mad Hatter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Pro voice actor. Mad Hatter, really good. Anyone else?
Nothing.
Damn it.
Voices of
If I was
Batman,
gonna-
Penguins. We
Penguin.
already kind of talked about them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He also plays as Harvey Dent as well.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to that. Again, that little coin flip just has me buzzing. Like, oh, what we can do, Harvey Dent. Oh, what we could do with that.
When we were talking Harvey Dent, I was adamant of him being introduced in season 2, episode 2.
Right,
I was adamant about that. I was like, it's too perfect.
Izzy as James Gordon, but you don't see him in episode 1. It's gonna be in episode 2.
You have my attention now fully, because of course I adore the.
Dragon is a big Gordon guy.
That's the highest standard we're holding you to, sir. I'm gonna let you know that in advance.
Oh God! If you guys mess up Gordon,
considering what I do to his
hear
kid in the
about
future, I don't know if he's going to agree with you on that.
Also, a fun fact: the person who will be playing as Leslie, and I believe Ivy, yes, Ivy, is the person who plays as Gordon's daughter, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to have that little family mutual relationship in the cast. But yeah, shout out to I think it's Kaylee, and I'm getting it right, Callie, I think that's it. Callie.
I've heard her line chat. Like, I'm really interested in knowing what her Ivy sounds like.
Well, like I said, she's not going to be in it until at least episode 3. Ivy isn't going to be introduced until 4-3, maybe. I want to save some of the characters. I don't want everyone to be introduced at the same time. I'm still waiting for Victor Zaz and Professor Pig and all those characters.
We got a lot of characters planned.
Yeah. Professor Pig's actually most likely going to be a serial killer. Yeah.
It'd be hysterical if he was like, if he was like a science teacher going through dissections, or if he was like the guy that worked in the cafeteria or something.
He guessed that so perfectly, Eddie.
I swear, he's guessed about at least 5 of the Gotham High main plot lines. He doesn't even know.
I didn't tell him.
Nathan, are you sure?
Ask them.
Anyway.
I didn't say a damn thing.
I'll vouch, he has not told me a thing. I'm just a huge Bat fan. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Sorry.
Just give me a sec. I'll read the names out. You guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So, Nathan as Jay White, Craig Richardson as Alfred Pennyworth, Tobias, known as Selena Kyle, Silent Fang or Aphris as Bane, Vocal Vortex Productions as Bruce Wayne. Also, fun fact, he'll be also be playing as Jonathan Crane as well later on. Kyle Reagan as Thomas Elliott, me as Edward Nigma, Billy Cole as Killer Croc, Danny, who I haven't actually introduced yet, Danny as Harley Quinn and Talia al Ghul, voices of Batman as Harvey Dent and Oswald Cobblepot, the King Joker as Ra's al Ghul, and like I said, Izzy as James Gordon and Kali as Ivy and Tompkins. So yeah, that's everyone so far.
Great.
Fun fact about Ra's: in the beginning days, he was supposed to be like a main villain, not just like the teacher role.
Well, he probably still is. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm mostly focusing on Bane being the main villain on the season.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever watch Troll Hunters? I know, random question. I'm going somewhere with it though.
No, I have not. I've seen.
Isn't that the movie where there's a bunch of trolls and boxes and they hunt trolls?
No,
that's Box Trolls.
Yeah. There's a Netflix show that Guillermo del Toro did. It's animated. It's a DreamWorks show. It's really
Wait,
good.
isn't he like one of those like big time directors?
Yeah.
What's he doing on Netflix?
Well, I mean, he.
Martin Scorsese's releasing a movie on Netflix this year, so
He wrote the book series, which is adapted into the Netflix show. He's kind of like co-involved in the show with the other guy he did the book with. Whereas I bring it up because there's a character in that show. He's a teacher. Basically, there's a dynamic with the student in that show where he basically calls him Young Atlas and everything. He's very regal. He's very much, and the idea is this guy's he's a villain, but he has a lot of respect and admiration for the hero. And look, I'm not trying to like kind of grease the wheels of progress here. I'm just saying again, if you guys want like have a bearing in kind of a school setting with like a dynamic, I don't know. I mean, Ray Shogul always has detective. Always has a respect for for Bruce Wayne. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Have you seen what I recently revealed on the JGI about my personal Bruce Wayne? Like, this isn't canon to Gotham. It's just like a little anecdote.
Also, I thought, before we wrap this up, if we are wrapping this up, I thought I should shout out Ethan's little movie about his Joker that I'm also a scriptwriter and editor for. The story of Jay White. I'm not sure.
Different Jay White.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not sure if it's a sequel to Gotham High. It's a different Jay White. It's Ethan's Joker. Also, we are going to be doing a Lion King little short movie.
Ooh!
Yeah, it's the story between Mufasa and Scar, or Taka.
Oh man! Okay, now I'm interested. Oh man, that's very much stuff that we should have gotten in that shit show of a live-action remake. But
yeah, can't really say much. When I watched it, it was kind of a love-hate relationship with that movie.
With that kind of leaves my little tease at the end because I'm working on a Batman Beyond audio drama.
Nice.
Get out of here. Are you serious? You're doing Batman Beyond?
I'm doing Batman
Exciting
Beyond.
stuff.
Cool.
Why do you think I've been doing all those drawings?
I don't know. You always do drawings, Nate, and they're wonderful.
All right. All right, Dragon. Can you please just take us out here? Do a little outro for us all.
All right, folks. Let's see. So, folks, it's, as I mentioned, it's cool to see Gotham High realized in this creative a forum that we have here, wonderfully provided by the folks of Royal Flush Productions. Just
subscribe.
Yes, subscribe to them, folks. These guys.
Link in description.
Many a time you hear VA just kind of thrown around there, and of course the abbreviation is voice actor, of course. But when you say VA, you have the right talent. You have guys who are in the nitty gritty, the guys who've studied the craft, the guys that know their craft, the guys that want to do something wonderful with that craft, and these fine folks have. Subscribe to them, look into them, and look into this show, man. Gotham High is again, there's so much potential in this. Again, we're in episode 1. We're in the infancy of something great here, folks. As a pilot, as a piece of the greater whole. One could say the beginning, if you will, of Gotham High. Welcome to the party, folks.